I'm Masharra, and I am the Assistant Shelter Director here at Alpha House. I think my unique experience definitely started with childhood. I'm from the Detroit area. When I was roughly like 9 years old, we moved up north to a town called Oscoda. So it went from being around predominantly black people to nothing but white people. So it was kind of learning very fast that you're different, that people look at you different, they're gonna treat you different. So it was very interesting to experience that at a young age, but I thank it in a way. So I experienced homelessness for the first time in youth. We've kind of always lived like either with family. We've kind of went periods of times with like staying in shelters. And that happened all the way up until I turned about 16. I've stayed in Kentucky, I've lived in Louisiana, I've lived in Alabama, I lived like a lot of places in Michigan. So I would definitely say the experience, it was just different depending where you were at. Like if I was at family's house, it was always like kind of try to stay out of their way, not do too much, make sure you're cleaning up behind yourself. When we were at a shelter, it was about like following rules and not getting into it with people. So each dynamic was different depending on where we were at. So it was just always having to be on, be this, be that, make sure you're doing the right thing. I definitely noticed just the impact of I think what it is to be a black woman. I think there is just this I don't know if I can find the right word, but there's just this expectation that you are kind of capable of doing it by yourself. Um so I think for the longest time I thought that was kind of normal, honestly, because you just see women a lot of times doing it by themselves. So I feel like it was an expectation up until you get older and you know that that's not always like the case. I have definitely noticed that some women who had to, provide for themselves have definitely taken on a lot of masculine roles. Definitely feel like it comes from a place of trauma and just having to do everything on your own. Going through my own experience of homelessness, I think it has definitely affected me in a way where I just don't want to make the same mistakes that I previously saw. So I just try to be very cautious of the decisions that I make or just the things that I do. I don't know, like when I grew up, I just saw a life that I did not want. So for me it was just important to just make better decisions, to really watch who I surround myself with and the company that I keep. I think it definitely kind of scared me straight almost in a way. I don't always feel strong, honestly. Um, but I don't always admit that I'm not. I feel like the opposite. I feel like I've kind of always been like softer than what a lot of black women are perceived as. So I feel like it's almost like a struggle because I feel like our perception is so strong. Sometimes when you don't meet that, I feel like sometimes I don't fit the mold of like what a black woman is. I think it is very important for black women to know themselves. I think if you don't, you will be told who you are. I think growing up, especially in the social media, like I've just seen like a shift in the presentation. Like when I was growing up, it was a lot of weaves, it was a lot of silk pressed perm hair. I feel like now I see more afros, I see more locks, things that more so represent us and getting back to our culture. So I think it's important. I think definitely do. I would definitely say the difference in other systems versus Alpha House, I think, was just the structure. I could just say my time at the shelter, it was so like cold. Like, it was, you gotta do this at every time. They really didn't care about what you were going through. There wasn't, in my opinion, a lot of resources there to help the women. It was just like, you got a place to stay and that's it. Versus I feel like us, we provide case management where we are providing like referrals. We help with, furniture referrals when you get housed. We help you with past debts, if you need it. So I feel like we just offer a lot more services and referrals to those who need it. I definitely think as Black women, we could move forward by just being okay with being vulnerable, asking for help. There's definitely power in community. I think there's power in just asking for help. So just being open to put that foot forward to say, hey, I don't have this, I'm not this strong, I don't know what I'm doing, and I need help. I would personally definitely say keep God first. I think just having a foundation really helps in life. Sometimes when you might not have all the answers, just having something to believe in, I think is important to me personally. It just teaches me to not give up. Like, it may be hard today, but it's not always gonna be that way. So
To learn more or support, visit us at alphahouse-ihn.org.